Alright. Hey everybody, my name is Xavier. Uh, and for my interview, I interviewed how they're different than me is uh, they're a woman, they are Vietnamese, and I'm black and Mexican. So there's a very big difference in that. Um, Growing up, we had two different upbringings for the most part. Uh, Her upbringing was more in an affluent area, middle class area, and mine was right below it. Not necessarily middle class, not necessarily low class, or the lower middle class, right? Um, so we went to two different schools. Mine was very culturally diverse in the fact that we had, Hispanic, black, majority white, um, Asian. We had a lot of different mixes of nationalities and races in there. She went to a school that was, for the most part, a lot of um, white people, and she dealt with being stereotyped, um, dealt with racist remarks and things like that, um, which was shocking to me because I also, being biracial, I dealt with, some stereotypes coming from Hispanics, some stereotypes coming from black people, stereotypes coming from all of these other races that I didn't think that she would have dealt with growing up in the same sense that I did. Um, so that was shocking for me to hear her say, yeah, I dealt with racism and people saying racist things to me and stereotyping me. Maybe not in a way that I would have but gotten stereotyped like in high school. If, I walk by somebody and they clutch their purse, thinking, hey, he might steal my purse, versus her being Vietnamese of Asian descent, and somebody saying, hey, uh, you're supposed to be really smart. And in school, the teacher calling on her because they expect her to know the answer. And that affected her because what she didn't want to do was fall into that stereotype, and it was difficult for her to be that. And she had made a point saying that she would fall asleep in class or put her head down in class to not, or to combat rather, being that stereotype of the smart Asian in the class. Um, so she had dealt with things like that. But what I learned from this specific interview is that we all deal with similar things in our classes, in our cultures. It all affects us to a certain degree, whether it be being stereotyped, be dealing with racist comments. Even the neighborhoods that we grew up in were different, but we dealt with the same problems. Um, Maybe, you know, if I had free lunch and she didn't, we still dealt with some of the same things, and they still molded us into who we are. But she also dealt with, coming into her own, as I did, because as being biracial, it's almost like you're in this funny world of not black enough for one side and not Mexican enough for another, because you don't speak Spanish, or because you don't dress a certain way, you don't wear a certain thing, you don't speak a certain way. And then you're told, hey, you sound like this, like a white kid. Or growing up, even, at home sometimes or with family, they would, say things like this, and you get that same feeling. And then you go to school, same deal. It wasn't until high school till we had both figured out, hey, you know, I'm happy with who I am. I'm good with who I am. I'm proud of my culture. I'm proud of what I stand for and who I've become as a person. And it's molded me into this person. It molded her into a person that is okay with who we are. Um, so it's a bit uh, shocking to hear that she had dealt with racism in a way that I had, especially because I thought that typically the only people that I thought had dealt with it were just black people, some Hispanics to a certain degree, but I didn't think that Asians had dealt with it. Um, let's see. Other than that, pretty much it. She taught me a lot, and just opening my eyes as far as, you know, your culture identity is going to be a big part of your schooling. We were both in public schools, uh, so we had a lot of the same things in different areas um, that shaped us, and we had a very similar K through 12 experience uh, growing up. So, thank you.